Hey everybody, welcome to Motivational Monday. It's December 7th, and we are less than a week away from my birthday. You know, I know for years that turning 40 was supposed to be the midlife crisis. It's when everyone gave you those black balloons because you're now this close to being dead, or more close to being dead than you are alive, because that was your median age, was 80. But now, I mean, people are living well beyond that. My grandmother, who recently passed away, lived to 94. My grandmother on the other side lived to 89. Now, my parents themselves, they lived to 34 and 52. No, 54. 32 and 54. So, not exactly the best examples. But grandparents, they lived quite into their elder years. So who knows what's going to happen to me. So as usual, before we get into the topic for today's Motivational Monday. Whoa. Sorry about that distraction. Two of our cats actually really hate each other, and I just had to break up like a Thunderdome style fight that went on. Right. Before we get into this week's Motivational Monday topic, let's talk about what's going on in the stew house. This weekend we took Logan and Liam down to the local police station where they were holding one of their big Touch a Truck events. So they bring all these big trucks, and the kids get to like go up and see them up close, get up into the driver's seat, like take tours of them and stuff, and it's usually a lot of fun. And Logan is a truck fanatic. He's got a poster on his wall that has 50 different types of trucks. He can spot trucks from just long distances down the highway that we would have never seen and tell us exactly what type of truck it is. He's just really into them. But this time, I think it was a little bit overwhelming. There was just a lot going on. There were a lot of trucks. There was a lot of people. And one of the things that was starting to freak him out was all the kids getting up into the driver's seat of the trucks were hitting the horns. So you had these large, loud truck horns going on. And most of the time, like a school bus horn or a normal garbage truck horn, that wasn't exactly the big bother. But I was holding at one point, and then some kid hit the horn for, I think it was like one of the wrecker trucks, like the big Mack trucks. And it sounded like a foghorn. It sounded like a cruise ship coming in, and it was loud, and it scared the crap out of him. I mean, he, arms around me, legs clinched up, just terrified. And from that point on, it really was just kind of like, he wanted to look around, but he didn't want to get too close to anything. He barely wanted me to like put him down. Like he was just very trepidatious about the rest of the event. So we didn't stay a lot longer. And on top of that, he is still fighting a nasty whatever it is, this sinus infection, ear infection thing. Uno momento. Okay, verified with Michelle that we actually did give Logan the antibiotics. I am so terrible sometimes at knowing that like we get something that has to be given to him every day and then just forgetting to do it. And that's awful because that just leaves him in this continual cycle of feeling sick. So that's what's going on with him. Liam is just getting big. He's 9 weeks old and he's barely fitting into 3-month clothing. He's going to be in 3 to 6 month clothing by next week. It's nutty. And Michelle captured this amazing picture of him, which I'll put right there. Yeah, that's adorable. I mean, that picture, of course, doesn't exactly do him any kindnesses in a certain respect. He is not that big. He's not like a sumo baby, but that picture just makes him look huge. It's like the baby who ate Christmas. But overall, he's doing really well, and he is just a super happy baby, and it's a wildly different experience, and couldn't ask for anything more. Except for maybe for him to sleep a little longer during the night. He'll take 4-hour naps during the day, but at night, he'll go like, 2 hours before he starts to fuss his way somewhat awake and then needing to eat. He's also graduating from the 3-ounce or 4-ounce bottles up to like the 6-ounce bottles a little earlier than we were used to seeing when Logan was a baby. But hey, the kid's hungry. Yes! And what else? Put up our tree tonight. Yeah, we put up our tree, which had lights built in, but we also added a couple strands of colored lights to it. Looks really good. We're happy with it. Here's a little shot. It's pretty cute. And this is the first year I've ever had a fake tree, but it was really easy to set up. No mess. We don't have to water it, and we know that we can just take this down and put it right back up next year and have it look just exactly as good. So we're happy with it. It's a really good size for the space that we have as well. And we're looking forward to tomorrow morning because we did this after Logan went to sleep, so we're looking forward to him coming downstairs and seeing it for the first time. Saw Return of the Jedi again over the weekend with some friends of mine in my friend's apartment. Yeah, hadn't seen that one in a very long time, and there's a good reason for it. Man, some of the acting in that is absolutely atrocious. And as one of my good friends Emily said, if you were watching this for the first time as an adult, how would you understand the tonal shift between Empire and Return of the Jedi? And the fact that somebody somewhere said, you know what we need in this series? Muppets. Lots of Muppets. But then my other friend Mike pointed out that by this point they knew that the merchandising of Star Wars toys was going to go off the charts, so Ewoks, huge marketing possibilities. Huge Ewok toys everywhere. Every child wanted an Ewok. It was basically a teddy bear inside of the movie. You tie teddy bears with Star Wars. Ching! Not saying that was the only motivation, but you know it had to be in there somewhere. So that was the weekend. I hope you guys had a great one. Now moving on to Motivational Monday. And the topic for today is not losing momentum. Not losing your step. Now, I know I've talked about momentum many times before, but what I want to talk about today is once you get momentum, once you get going, one of the easiest pitfalls is to hit that first roadblock. Hit that first stumbling point or that gap when you're like, you know what, I've been working out for 17 days in a row. It's the longest streak I've ever had. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fit. You know, I'm not obviously like where I want to be, but you're just like, yeah, I can feel it. And you're feeling positive. And then maybe you get sick, maybe you stay up too late one night, maybe you just feel lazy one day and you skip the workout. And halfway through that day, you just start feeling down on yourself and you're just like, oh man, I had such a good streak going. You know what, it's just one day. It'll be good, I'll do it tomorrow. And then the next day comes and you're like, I'm still tired. You know what, I'm just gonna, And then the third day comes, and that's when you start feeling this other voice that comes back and says, you know what, you just screwed up. You're done, and you're never going to get back there, so let's just quit trying. You know you're always going to fail doing this. That's what I want to point out, is don't listen to that voice. Just get back on that horse as quickly as you can. Just start again. There is no such thing as skipping one day or falling off of a wagon, meaning that you can't get back on. There's no one-way ticket. Any habit that you start and stop can be started again. Any attempt at learning something that you fail can be attempted again. It's always on you to not lose hope, if that's what you really want to do. If you want to get into shape, then keep working at it. Just keep working at it. It doesn't mean that you can't have a day where you just go over your calorie count, or don't get enough protein, or have too much sodium, or whatever it is that you're trying to avoid. One day is not going to kill you, and it does not wipe away all the progress that you've done up to that point. Sometimes I know it can feel like that. It can feel that like if you've been avoiding even doing a bad thing, if there's a bad habit that you have and you've been going days and days and weeks and months and you've never done that thing, and then you slip and you do that thing that one time and you go, oh, that's it, I'm a terrible person, and all those months and whatever amount of time is now worthless because I ruined it with this. That's not true. All the work you put in before is still valid. It just means you've got more work to do, and you just get right back on it. Because the people who truly fail are the people who think you go back to square one, and they feel so overwhelmed by the distance that they have traveled backwards that they can't get themselves to get back on the road. Because they see now the point that they were at so far off in the distance, and they think, I'm never going to make it there again. I'm going to end up failing well before I get to that point again, so you know what, why even bother? And that is your doubt talking, that is your self-loathing talking, that is your negative self-image talking. So tell all of those voices to step off and move forward, because that's the best way to get things done. It's the best way to keep things going. And I'm saying this from experience because there are many times that I've started things and failed. Still to this day, I still don't have an exercise routine at all, knowing that I want one, but I'm not going to tell myself that I'm never going to have one. I know I'll get there eventually. It's just right now it is really hard because just so much broken sleep. And that's a really important part of the process. Good sleep, exercise, eating well. Those things will get you 90% of the way to feeling positive and getting yourself on the way to doing whatever it is that you want to do. So don't give up, don't lose hope, and if you screw up, just start again. Don't even think about it, just start again. So that's the topic for today. Hope you guys have a great Monday. See you tomorrow, and as always, be good to each other.